Welcome back to part 3 of opening day. It's our final opening day matchup that will showcase. It's between the switch hitting team and the K per 9 team, which might end up being a bit of a slaughter if the K per 9 team strikes out as many batters as I think they're going to. But again, the switch hitters, they don't have any benefit other than the fact that they will always have the advantage versus whichever pitcher they face. Will they push together some runs remains to be seen. This is going to be the first matchup of the season where I think we're actually going to have two different colored jerseys, which is fortunate. And again, they are already replacing some players at second base. Top of the first inning, switch hitters will get this one and lead it off with a strike right down the middle. Let's go with the over-under for strikeouts in this one. I'm going to say 14 as a team, although I wouldn't be surprised if it was higher, but let's go with 14 for now. The only thing that might kind of mess with them is the fact that their control and walks per 9 is also a bit off. It's just if the opposing team swings, doesn't have any vision or contact, they're going to swing and miss at the ball quite a bit. But the other thing to kind of consider is with the strikeout pitchers, they're going to lose stamina quite a bit more as there's a shot into the left center field gap, and we're going to get probably a double, if not a triple, to begin the game. Yes, he will hold it too, so the first batter goes extra bases for the switch hitters. A curious start to this one. I wasn't banking on a strikeout, maybe first thing, but at least one or two in terms of the outs that the strikeout team would get in this inning. And now we already have a runner on base. We'll see if they sacrifice him to third. Indeed. There's the bunt to the third baseman. His only play is to first for the out, and the switch hitting team now has two opportunities to get that first run home of the game in the first inning. The point I was kind of alluding to is the fact with strikeouts is you usually have to throw quite a few more pitches in order for you to get the strikeout, at least 3. So their stamina might go a bit quicker than another team just with all the strikeouts that they might rack up, and we'll see if they can work out of this by striking out the next two batters with a runner at third and one away. The 1-2 reaches outside, was a pitch just off the corner, out of the zone, and there's his first major league strikeout. Didn't have to wait too long for that. 0-2 pitch goes low in the zone. Well, the catcher wanted it low. It ended up being a fastball high and inside, which gets him strikeout number 2, and they avoid the first inning run by stranding that runner at third. We go to the bottom of the first. Switch hitters also switching out their second baseman. And this is the point where we're not going to have like any kind of stellar like offense. We have a pitching team facing off against a team who, you know, their only advantage is switch hitting, but like there is 0 in pretty much everything anyway. So this is all just wonky kind of simulation from here. Whatever happens, there's a single up the middle that will lead to a sacrifice attempt. But you are going to see quite a bit of this kind of small ball affair with like the singles that reach the outfield just before like they're able to find the fielder's glove. Another swap at second base. I wish I knew what was causing that, but we'll get used to it here in the first inning of every game. Here's the bunt attempt. A bit hard, but goes foul. See if they try and bunt again with 2 strikes. He squares. That one drops off the bottom of the zone on the curveball. Luckily is able to block that one to prevent the runner from advancing. The next bunt attempt, that one was very low in the zone. He went down and got it, but regardless of if the first baseman caught that one or not, I think it would have dropped foul, so there's the out number 1 for the inning. As we kind of saw last game with the hits per 9 and the home runs per 9 team, this is going to be a matchup of maybe whoever scores first, if not second, as that one, the sacrifice attempt, pulls the shortstop off the bag, so now we have runners at first and second. Now we'll probably get another sacrifice attempt to move up to second and third with 2 away. Don't see a cleanup hitter squaring very often. That one nearly sneaks by the catcher. He's able to get a glove on it on the bottom outside corner. The 1-0, that's a high fastball in the zone that goes right to the third baseman. Sacrifice unsuccessful. And now we'll see if they can single a home run here with a runner on second base. I really wish I could have made this team both switch hitters and switch pitchers, but unfortunately it's only something that Pat Venditti can get special in the game. Having a switch pitcher for like a created player would be really unfair. Two-way players are fine, just to switch pitchers, I mean, wow, you can do a lot with that one. Both teams threatening with the runner in scoring position in the first inning. Will the K per 9 team get it? Oh, and he gets the call on the inside corner. It looked like it was just inside, but that ends the threats. We end the first inning with a 0-0 score. Switch hitters will lead off with their 5 spot as the K per 9 team with 2 strikeouts in the last inning, including back-to-back strikeouts in order to get out of a jam. Already on pace for 18 strikeouts, which is well over the amount that I picked earlier in the game. I mentioned about 14. Walks are also very important in this league, especially with the low discipline that a lot of them tend to have. There is a line shot that's going to be right at the right fielder. A good 3-1 swing by the switch hitting team. Not entirely sure why I gave the switch hitting team purple and pink for their colors. Again, I was just kind of getting a bunch of random stuff. This one's also out to right field, but is going to land in front of the right fielder. And we'll see if a sacrifice attempt is incoming. That one, no, it didn't get him in the leg. Looked like it was just about to, though. 1-0. A little bit of control issues here for the strikeout per 9 team. Stamina's not going that fast. There's a tapper to the first baseman. He decides to go to second and does get the force at second base. That was hard enough where he was able to make that decision, but also would have had the easy play to just go and step on first. Another one that nearly gets the batter, forces him out of the batter's box, and already some control issues like I mentioned for this team. Usually they can throw about, I would say 50 pitches before they have recently taken him out of the game in this season. Another one that's very high for ball 2. So we knew that strikeouts would cause a little bit of stamina issues having to throw so many pitches, but the ones that are his setup pitches are just not finding the zone either. There's another good changeup. That's the one pitch that's been working for him so far this game. And we'll see if he goes back to it on 2-2. Catcher signs low, and there it is. The low pitch gets him swinging for the third out of the second. And now in the bottom of the second, the K per 9 team will go to work. Leadoff walk would do some wonders here for the K per 9 team. And he's going to ground it past the shortstop. It dies just past the infield for a single. Here's the sacrifice attempt. We're getting a lot of leadoff hitters on base. This one's going to be just out of reach for both the pitcher and the first baseman to the point where they can't think about throwing to second. So the sacrifice is successful. We have a runner on second with 1 away. Here's the 2-0 pitch. That one's going to be a fair ball down the third base line, and it will go for an RBI double. Fielder can't get a handle on it right away, but regardless, it was going to be 2 bases, and the K per 9 team takes a early 1-0 lead in the bottom of the second. We've seen a lot of opposite field slaps down the line. That one was about the closest we've seen to the foul line so far this season. The wind is going 9 miles an hour about southeast today, so that kind of helped the ball stay fair. That one's a little pop-up job. Shortstop gloves it for the outs. If it dropped, I'm not sure if the runner would have gone from second to third anyhow, but that's a big out number 2 with the runner in scoring position. And now we're back to the top of the lineup. Worked his way back to an even count. Again, looking to knock in that runner from second base for the 2-0 lead, which would be a huge deal here in the early going. But instead chops one to shortstop. Plenty of time to make the throw, and he does make it to first base to get out of the jam. But an early 1-0 lead so far for the K per 9 team as you get a look here at the RBI double down the third baseline. These guys really can place the ball anywhere, which is something that will kind of come back into play. Even some late or early swings might end up working out for some of these guys who have zero contact and power because they can just kind of put it between the infield and the outfield. This one's going up high, but instead is going to also fall in fair just by the foul line, this time down the right field line. Catcher wanted it up high, ended up like kind of jamming the batter middle in. We'll see if the switch hitters want to bunt over to third, and they do. Looks like a great opportunity for the switch hitters to perhaps capitalize. A lot of, like I said, leadoff batters so far. Good bunt. This one over to the third baseman. High throw, but wrangled by the first baseman for the out, and now the switch hitters have a runner on third with only 1 away. Last time they had a similar situation, the pitcher was able to get back-to-back strikeouts. Will he be able to work his way out of a second jam? The 2-2 pitch is a chopper over to first, or the runner at third is going to score on the chopper. Not enough time to gather and throw home, so they just take the out at first, and we've got ourselves a tie ball game at 1. Going to see a lot of manufactured runs like this as the game progresses. So far, though, not too many strikeouts here for the switch hitters. I think they only have like 2 or 3 to this point, as there's one right as I was saying. Now the K per 9 team in the bottom of the third. We'll see if they can get their leadoff hitter on once again. Perhaps manufacture that run right back. I'm sensing a pattern here, though. I think this game might end 2-1, kind of similar to our last one. Maybe 3-2, as there's a strikeout. Now the number 3 hitter Takes the first pitch, is late, and kind of hits it the other way to right. Gloved by the right fielder, maybe about 15 feet in front of the warning track, and there's a quick out number 2. Now the cleanup hitter, who hit a line out for his first at-bat, takes a strike. Changeup outside is smacked foul as the batter stays alive. That had a good chance to maybe stay fair, but the wind is kind of blowing out to the right that direction. Now the 7th pitch of the at-bat is going to be popped up behind short, but still catchable by the shortstop to end the 3rd inning. We're tied at 1 after 3 innings. I thought we'd see a lot less of a offensive showing here by the switch hitting team, and a few more strikeouts, like, especially with guys with contact this low. I thought it would be a lot more prevalent to this point, especially early in the game when the stamina is kind of high for the pitcher, but not so. This has been a close game so far. Pretty even matchup, all things considered. That one was a bit low, but he chased it. Tapper out to the shortstop. He has to make a play, and he does. Throws him out at first to begin the 4th inning. The 2-2 pitch once again. And that one's a high changeup. Hits the outside corner. Batter wasn't ready for it. And the 5th strikeout of the game for the switch hitting team. Now we're starting to see a little bit more free swinging by the switch hitting team. They have been using a few ambush tactics early in the count, but now they're doing so on some less desirable pitches to hit. They're missing pretty high or inside certain times, but that one's a good fastball just above the zone. And there's strikeout number 6 through 4. Go to the bottom of the 4th, K/9 team with their 5-hitter. There's another one, this time low in the zone. Throw makes the first baseman jump for it, but he's able to snag it and put his foot on the bag for the first out. There's the pitch speed comparison so far again, 87 miles an hour for both sides. That's what they'll top out at. Aside from the pitch velocity team, which we'll get a look at perhaps later in the season. Offense starting to slow down a bit here as we reach the middle innings. Had some early threats and some early scoring for each team. 1 run on the board for each team. But since then, not much to speak of in terms of base runners. There's a high fly ball that's out to right center. Will be caught by the center fielder for out number 2. Now with 2 away in the 4th, we'll see if the K/9 team can start anything. Now they'll be free swinging on a nice pitch. That one is taken the other way, but again, a lazy fly ball to the outfield, and that will end the 4th inning. Still tied at 1 between the switch hitters and the K/9 team. Starter still in there, beginning his 5th inning of work with 59 pitches already on the board. He'll face the bottom of the order, 7, 8, 9, but we get a look there at the bullpen. Both a lefty and a right-handed thrower getting loose. I wouldn't doubt if he only goes another batter or 2 once he hits the 60 pitch mark. There's a swing and a miss on the inside fastball. And they're showing his pitch count right now, which when the game tends to do that, that usually means he is out of stamina completely, or just about to. So this will probably be his last batter. That one's a changeup, but it stayed up high, and it is a fair ball down the first base line. Will likely turn into a double, and the switch hitting team has their leadoff hitter aboard in the 5th inning as well, as that will likely spell the end for the starting pitcher. And indeed, here comes in the lefty. So we'll see the switch hitting team hit right for the first time this game. Bunt likely incoming from the number 8 hitter right here. No, they're going to let him swing away. He slaps it the opposite field. 2 rights, and we'll have runners on the corners. Up next is the pitcher, who they will keep in the ball game. No pinch hitter here, so they'll likely stick with him for at least the start of the next inning. Last time their pitcher was at the plate, he got a double and scored their only run of the game to this point. Now we'll see if he can hit in his teammate this time. 0-2 count quickly, though, for the K/9 team. Looking to perhaps strike out a batter and then get a double play ball. I'd be amazed if they can get 3 straight strikeouts, and double plays are usually kind of hard to get with a slow developing fielding team. But we have seen quite a few hits that are slow grounders or just some like really soft contact blooping fly balls. So there's a K high in the zone, and he gets a big first out of the inning here in the top of the 5th. But as I was saying with the ground balls, like there have been a few that are just out of the reach of the fielder since they're a bit on the slow side. But if there is one directly to one of the fielders, we have seen a couple of double play balls before, as there is a sweeping changeup for a strike. 0-1 to start the next batter. That one is blocked behind the plate. The runner at third is not going to move, but the runner from first does move up to second, so no double play option here on the wild pitch. Maybe risked it there throwing to third to get that runner back to the base. Could have definitely gone over their head. There's the next pitch. That one is going to just go foul at the last second. Would have been a double that scored 2, but the wind couldn't push it back into fair territory enough. Again, the wind kind of blowing back to the right today. That's going to be a pop-up to the infield. I doubt they'll test him here. They will not. He'll make the throw home anyhow. And a big out number 2 here after the first 2 batters got on via the double and then the single. They do have an open base here if they need it. First pitch goes way high for ball number 1. In this relief appearance, he's already thrown 13 pitches. See how far he goes in this game. The next pitch went out of the zone for that one, and that one's going to be caught by the second baseman. K-9 team gets out of a huge jam after the first few batters made it on to start the inning, and it's still tied at 1. If I had confidence in a team like that to get out of the inning, it might be one of these pitching teams. K-9 team only got 1 strikeout as a part of those last 3 outs. That one was a good pitch on the outside corner. Batter stays with it down the third baseline. Gloved by the third baseman and thrown to first for the first out of the inning. For the switch hitters, pitcher has gone 4 1/3 with 57 pitches, and again, usually take him out around the 50 or 60 mark, so we'll see if he goes maybe 1 or 2 batters. K-9 team puts in a pinch hitter for their pitcher, so the one who just came in and got out of the jam for the last inning is done for the day. And this one is going to stay fair. Was a little bit more middle cut, and he was able to stick with the ball, legs it out into a double. So the switch hitting team tried to go for the same type of knockout pitch 4 times in a row. The batter makes the adjustment, gets a double, and that'll force the starter out of the game. Here comes the bullpen for the switch hitting team. I doubt they'll go for the sacrifice here with a runner on second and 1 away, so they'll have a couple chances to perhaps drive this runner home. That one's high for ball 3, and his first 3 pitches are not looking good. Catcher motioning for him to settle down perhaps. Any base runners could lead to a big inning for the other team. Back-to-back pitches on the inside black. Good adjustment after the 3-0 count. Now they go back away. This one's out to right field and caught. Batter will stay at second, and there are 2 away now. Last time they tried it was a double. Now this one is lined into right field. Will they send the runner from second? They will try. Here comes the relay, and by the time it gets to the cutoff man, the runner has scored. K-9 team goes up 2-1 here in the 5th inning. Bit of a hanger on that one, and he was able to capitalize by smacking it out to right field for the base hit. Some good clutch hitting there with 2 away. Another one inside. This one the batter's able to connect with, but it's a soft fly ball out to left. Caught by the left fielder. Showed a switch hitting batter, but K-9 team with the rip single to right field to take the lead 2-1. Each team with 5 hits so far as we go to the 6th. New pitcher for the K-9 team. This is their 3rd pitcher of the game, and it will force the batters to go back left-handed, which they've done a majority of the game to this point. But they do have 2 pitchers in the bullpen to try and hold this 1-run lead. And now back to a hitter's count for the number 3 hole. Takes that one the other way, out of the reach of the left fielder, but he's able to adjust and hold the batter to a single to begin the inning. The wind wasn't blowing to the right. That very well could have been a double. Instead, it's a single, and they'll try for the sacrifice attempt here. Now the next pitch, high in the zone, goes to the first baseman. He's going to think about throwing to second, and he does get there just in time. So the sacrifice attempt does not work there, but they'll maybe have another shot at it here with 1 away. Next pitch. This one's low in the zone. It's going to force the second baseman to make a play. And instead of charging with the bare hand, he stops to pick it up and then throw it to first. It's an infield single for the switch hitters. The number 5 hole hitter's first major league hit of his career. And now they have second and first with 1 away. We'll see if they try and avoid the double play here by also going with the sacrifice again. And there it is. The next bunt attempt. It's another one down the middle. This one stays fair. He'll go to second for the out and gets it. So it's partially successful. They have a runner at third now with 2 away, but they do not get the other runner in scoring position. As you get a look at the replay, has to throw across his body to second base, is able to make the play without the throw going offline. This may be a do or die situation here for the switch hitting team. Don't get the runner to third base too often with some lackluster offenses like this. And he starts him off with an 0-1 count. That one's inside and tagged, but foul. Strikeout situation here for the strikeout team. Not looking good for the switch hitters. We'll see if he can battle here with 2 away. And that one is flared, but right to the shortstop at the edge of the infield. The K-9 team escapes another jam. They hold a 2-1 lead going into the bottom of the 6th. Leading off is the cleanup hitter for the K-9 team. Same pitcher still out there for the switch hitting team. Second fastball of the inning up high, and the fielder goes all out trying to make the diving play. This one's going to roll to the wall. It's going to be a double for the K-9 team and a big insurance run opportunity here on the diving play. Back-to-back high fastballs. The second one was a bit outside, but he was able to take it the other way. Here's the bunt attempt, which will go to the third baseman. The runner holds on at second. Oh no, he didn't go. He didn't try for third, and it's a waste of a bunt there. Now with 1 away, maybe he's a bit too strong to the point where he didn't want to test it. It did go directly to the third baseman, who could have turned around and perhaps could have made the play. It's one of the dangers of batting or bunting to the left side as opposed to the right side. If you do it to the right side, odds are the first baseman isn't going to throw it across the field for the non-force play. Not necessarily an easy task here, as there's a drop ball. It's going to sneak away from the catcher and gets the runner to third anyway with 1 out. Pass ball on the catcher is the scoring decision. Now that the sacrifice was unsuccessful, a chopper to right side is going to do the job. First baseman knocks it down and gets the out, but a run is in to score. It's 3-1 for the K-9 team. I've seen a lot of diving stops so far. They don't really get the ball in their glove, but just knocking it down sometimes helps. That one actually led to an out as opposed to an RBI single. And the switch hitting team, with 3 innings of offense left to look at, is now down by 2. There's a fly ball into left field, which will be caught to end the 6th inning. So another good inning for the K-9 team as they're able to tack on some insurance. They lead at 3-1. In comes a 4th pitcher of the game for the K-9 team, right-handed thrower. That first pitch is right down the middle cut, and lined into center for a base hit. And we'll see if the switching team plays small ball to try and get one of those runs back. Again, they are down by 2, but they do have a few innings to work with. No, he's going to swing away. That one tails outside on the changeup, 1-0. Little flare is not going to get over the third baseman's head. He gloves that one for the first out. And now with 1 away and a runner at first, we'll see if they maybe perhaps go for the bunt here. Yes, they will. Nearly gets the batter again. K-9 team with 2 of the closest hit-by-pitch opportunities so far this season, neither of which did plunk the batter, but got mighty close. First baseman's going to go to second. He gets it again after a quick single to start the inning. Now has 2 outs on the board. Looking like getting a run across this inning is close to slim. There's the pitch. Changeup at the bottom of the zone, swung on and missed. Strikeout gets him out of the inning. We go to the bottom of the 7th, still 3-1. So after 7 innings, the strikeouts per 9 team has gotten 8 punch-outs so far. A little bit lower than our anticipated total of 14, unless they strike out the side the next 2 innings. Meanwhile, the switch-hitting pitchers have only gotten 2 strikeouts, so there has been a discernible difference between the 2 pitchers so far. K-9 team has also worked their way out of a couple jams. 0-2 count now, though, to the K-9 team. That one's going to go to center field. A bit too much on it, though. Stays up long enough to be caught by the center fielder for out number 1. Another pinch hitter here for the pitchers, so the K-9 team will go to their 5th pitcher of the game. This one's low in the zone, chopped to second. Second baseman's there. Makes the short throw to first for out number 2. Pitch number 2, slapped to right field, but right again at the right fielder. That will end the 7th quickly. Here comes the new pitcher for the K-9 team, a lefty, which will force the switch hitters into the righty hole for the 2nd time of the day. That one is blasted to the left side, but foul. 6 outs to go. 0-2 count for the K-9 team. Reaches for one and hits it towards the second baseman. Gathers himself, throws to first. And there is the first out of inning number 8. There's our starter comparison. Both pitchers turning in a similar performance. 4 innings, 4 hits. Only the K-9 team Gave up one less run and got a few more strikeouts while doing so. Both pitchers with about 60 pitches before they were ultimately yanked. We're not going to see a lot of starting pitchers accumulate wins from the looks of things this season. A lot of wins will be going to the bullpen. This is going to be a high fastball. But a good sliding catch out there in left field. So 2-2 count. They're down to their last strike of the 8th inning. We'll see if they can get a strikeout here on the pitching side. Changeup low, which is hit over to first, and he walks it over to the bag for the final out of the 8th inning. K/9 team up 3-1 as we go to the bottom of the 8th, and we'll see if they can get any insurance leading into the 9th. Number 2 hitter at hand for the K/9 team, 1 for 3 so far today, facing the same pitcher as last inning. Next pitch, pitcher nearly stumbled and fell over, but is able to snag the ball there and throw over to first for the first out of the inning. Next batter, fastball high. It's a bit late on it, but is able to softly place it into right field for the single. Switch hitters with 8 hits so far. The K/9 team with only 7, but they've been making good of their situations so far in terms of their run opportunities. Now they'll try and bunt that runner over to second with 1 away. Any insurance is good insurance. That one's outside and hit right to the first baseman. Oh, he tags the runner going back to first, and it's a double play. Unlucky end to the inning there. Slow reactions there by the runner at first. And now we're on to the 9th inning. K/9 team going to their closer, the lefty. As all closers are, left-handed throwers. We have an extra lefty in the bullpen. Gets strike number 1 and strike number 2. Quick 0-2 count on 2 fastballs, and he'll go for the knockout punch here. Nasty curveball and right into the glove of the second baseman. So no strikeout. We're still only at 8 for the game, but a big first out for the K/9 team. They only need 2 more to solidify the opening day victory. And this one's right back to the pitcher for pitch number 4, thrown on to first for the out. 4 pitches, 2 outs, and the switch hitting team's down to their final out of the game. This one's going to be fouled out to the right. The right fielder have a chance? No. It's a step or 2 in front of him. Lands foul for strike number 1. Here's the pitch by the closer. Roped to the left, but foul by a few feet. Would have been a double that would have gotten the tying run to the plate, but not so. The 2-strike pitch again. It's a curveball and a beauty. Just falling out of the bottom of the zone. And the K/9 team takes this one. 3-1 is the final score. 9 strikeouts on the board for the K/9 team. Maybe not too much considering what we might have expected. My guess was 14 going into the game. But a good solid win for the K/9 team. They did make it out of a few jams when they needed to. There's your final box score, 3-1. Again, K/9 team with less hits, but they made them count when they needed it. That'll do it for part 3 of opening day. From here on out, we'll likely simulate into April. If there's any matchups you'd like to see along the way or a team that we haven't seen yet, let me know in the comment section. Might be able to do a couple spotlight games as we make our way into April, but I'm curious to see how the simulations go for the first 20 or so ball games and what teams excel, what teams fall flat. So far, I can definitely say that the offensive teams have been the most exciting one. Partially the speed team that we've seen beat out some fielding attempts and bunts since they've been very bunt heavy so far. So I think that's going to be a team that does fairly well throughout the season here. But yes, this is exciting. We've done a few spotlight games so far, and we'll be continuing on for the rest of the season with more spotlight games as we sim to the end of the season and see which team is the best in this all or nothing league. Thanks for joining us this time. My name is Kasabi from Showzone, and we'll see you in the next episode.